the Netflix Marvel train keeps on chugging, and now we're finally starting to get continuations of shows other than Daredevil. Even though yes, honestly, I would probably take Daredevil Season 3 over all of these. Where is it, Netflix? Anyway, Jessica Jones Season 1 might be my favorite Marvel Netflix show behind Daredevil, so I was excited to see what they had in store for Season 2. Now that it's out, let's talk about it.
You were brought back from the dead. The powers were a side effect.
How many others are there? Like me?
And look, the show's been out for a while, so I'm saying full spoilers. And there are some pretty big twists and turns in this season, so yeah, you've been warned. So, was this season as good as the first? Well, sort of, but not really. To be honest, I found parts of the season, especially towards the end, quite frustrating. Mainly because I loved the first 7 episodes so much, and then it just dropped off and was kind of frustrating to watch play out. This was incredibly similar to Luke Cage Season 1 in that way. Luke Cage, I loved the first, 5 to 7 episodes, then a big twist happened, and the show takes a dramatic turn. And then the rest is not as good. Pretty much the exact same thing happened here. I mean, the rest was good, quite good actually, and it had some really satisfying character moments, and Kilgrave showed up, which we'll get to, but it was just significantly not as good. Let's get some structure here though. First, positives. Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. I mean, these Netflix shows in general have been pretty perfect with their casting, mostly, and this is one of the best examples. Also, just on a side note, watch any interview with Kristen Ritter in real life, she seems nothing like Jessica Jones. Jones is also an incredibly interesting character, but also a character that could easily become very unlikable, so props to Ritter and the writing for keeping that from happening. The returning cast is great, Hogarth, Trish, the new additions like Oscar are pretty good, I'll get to Jessica's mom in a bit. The one I want to give a special mention to though is Malcolm. I remember quite enjoying him in Season 1, but I thought he was phenomenal here. His character has a really interesting arc this season, and I love the performance. I also love him and Jessica working together, so the ending where he quits and goes to work for Hogarth and that rival PI, I like seeing him change and getting his act together properly, but I'm gonna miss Jones and Malcolm together. Seeing him go up against her could be fun though. The show is well shot, everything is well made, the music is great, the writing is pretty fantastic for the first half and some of the second. And I gotta say, despite me not loving the second half as much, I never found the show boring or even too long really. My biggest complaint with these Marvel Netflix shows is that they're 13 episodes when they really could be 8 or 10. However, this one, while yeah, there's some stuff that could be trimmed, I didn't really feel that. Now, full disclosure, there's a big chance that's because I made the choice to watch all these one episode a day, instead of binging the whole thing in one weekend. I know people's experiences differ, but I gotta say, it is so much better, and more enjoyable, for me at least, and that's how I'm going to be handling these shows going forward. The show on the whole is very entertaining. The conflicts and plotlines here are great, and I felt the show did a really good job of balancing a lot of plotlines. I found them all engaging, mainly because the characters are so good. The main internal conflict with Jessica, dealing with being a killer and balancing the life of a hero and all that, was particularly fascinating. And that sort of ties into Kilgrave coming back for one episode. I mean, of course I was gonna love seeing one of the best villains in the entire MCU, and in any superhero property ever in my opinion, come back, but I thought they handled it really well. They didn't bring him back fully and negate that whole big plot point of the first season, it didn't feel super cheap or like cheating with the rules of the world. To be honest, the show was mostly good enough that I never really felt a big missing presence from Kilgrave, but it was so much fun to see him again. David Tennant is awesome as always, and as well as being fan service, it did actually serve a story purpose and fit into the whole conflict of her feeling like a killer. So yeah, I love that. The mystery is very good, the action and special effects are few and far between, but when they're there, yeah, they're solid. Nothing really to speak of though. There are some very funny moments, and also some surprisingly emotional moments, especially with Hogarth at the end. Like, it's not one of those crying moments, but you just feel so bad for her. Like, these people do the worst thing to her, and seeing her break down was a pretty powerful moment. These Marvel Netflix shows sometimes have some political commentary in there, and this one I thought handled it pretty well, with stuff like Me Too and illegal immigration. It was interesting, wasn't too heavy-handed, and fit with the story. In terms of if this connects to the MCU, or even the Netflix world, not really. There's a Rand mention, there's a Captain America toy, Foggy showing up was fun, and the biggest one probably is the mention of the raft, which really solidified this as a post-Civil War MCU thing. But there aren't really any big tie-ins, and I like that. I like that you know it's in the world, but it's not beating you over the head with it. Also, I continue to love Turk Barrett as like the Stan Lee of these Netflix shows. I always smile when he pops up. I also like the ending, where she goes back to being a PI and starts trying to have a normal life with Oscar and Vito. That was sweet, and felt like an actual good development for her character. Now, as far as what I didn't like, let's get some small things out of the way first. Didn't love the Wizard in the first episode, the effect just looked so weird and campy and cheap, and maybe that was intentional, but it just did not fit in the show at all. Again though, he's there for like 5 minutes, so it's not a big deal. There are some face prosthetics that are pretty bad and look sort of hilarious and not terrifying as they're supposed to. The end reveal of Trish having powers felt very Spider-Man 1, and again, was just more cheesy than the show really otherwise was going for. But I actually kind of enjoyed that, or at least I'm interested to see where it goes next season. Now let's get to the big thing that kinda made this show worse for me. Or really, it's not the reveal itself that made this worse. It's just partly the reveal, and then how things developed afterwards. Now to be clear, I liked episodes 8 to 13, some very much so. They're still good, and they're nowhere near, say, Inhumans or even Iron Fist, but comparatively, they do not stack up. So if you haven't seen it and are still watching this for some reason, it's revealed that this crazy woman with super strength who Jessica has been clashing with is actually her mother, who didn't die in that car accident when Jessica was a kid, but actually was given powers as well, and also given insane mood swings. And look, before that, I loved this woman as the villain. I thought she was genuinely terrifying. Those powers, mixed with the anger, mixed with the performance, I was uneasy every time she was on screen. And the reveal itself, I didn't hate, although it did kind of give me PTSD to Luke Cage.
I love you like a brother.
Nigga, I am your brother.
But then afterwards, it went somewhat downhill. Firstly, the next episode stops the story dead in its tracks to do a flashback episode, also kind of like Luke Cage, except I enjoyed the Luke Cage flashback episode more. It's already kind of annoying that the story's being halted to show us this, but I mean, some of this we need to know, like about Jessica's mom and the doctor, so I get that. But then there's stuff like the origins of her leather jacket. It's like, do we really need to see this? It started to feel a bit like Wolverine Origins. That episode also felt oddly more dumb and less subtle compared to the rest of the show, and more cliche. Like that part where her mom is talking to her when she's in the bathroom, and Jessica having this tragic backstory, on top of her already tragic backstory, of how she had this first love who her mother killed. It gives this a lot more kind of Destiny stuff, rather than just bad things happen to this person, and now she fights crime. And I just wasn't really a fan of that. Then, after episode 7, we get more of this mother storyline, and there was some of that I liked, and some that I didn't. For one, the actress who plays the mom is good sometimes, and sometimes is a little too over the top. It reminded me of Daisy's dad from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if anyone remembers this guy. It's like sometimes, hey, that's pretty nuanced or terrifying, and then sometimes it's like, alright, that's a little too much scenery chewing. Jessica teams up with her mom at points, and they start to bond more, and that should be really nice and interesting, and maybe even emotional. But the thing is, I didn't like her mom at all. Like, you're supposed to hate her and then gradually start to like her, like Jessica does, but I didn't. With her character, and the writing for her, and the things she does, and even sometimes the performance, I just didn't end up liking her. Which is a problem, because a big part of your enjoyment of those last few episodes relies on that. So if you did end up liking her, I'm sure you enjoyed those more. But like, they team up at the end, and Jessica chooses to go with her mom, and it's supposed to be like a happy and emotional and sweet moment. Like, aw, she chose her mom. But the whole time I was like, no, go back, go to Malcolm. Character-wise and just plot-wise, she was just not as compelling, so I was just mildly annoyed watching those scenes. Also, the finale with the hero stuff where they save this family was sort of fun, but also a bit too on the nose, especially for this show. Like, they just happened to find this perfect happy family, and then they just happened to get into a car crash similar to Jessica's family right afterwards. It kind of felt like the flashback episode, where it was way too obvious for what the show otherwise was. It's still all alright, but watching it, I was just slightly frustrated, because clearly the people involved in the show have a lot of talent, and clearly they were putting effort into this plotline. It's not like this was some hack thing that was put together. It's just I found the plotline much less engaging than what was going on before it. I will say it picks up a bit at episode 10 when the mom goes to jail. There was some stuff there that I quite liked. And the very end, with Trish shooting her mom in the head at Jessica's childhood amusement park, was a pretty good intense moment. I know it sounds messed up, but I was kind of hoping her character would die, just because I really didn't want a Jessica Jones mom team up for another entire season. So on the whole, Jessica Jones Season 2 is pretty fantastic. In a lot of ways, it lives up to the first season, and I didn't feel it drag as I have with some of the other shows, even the ones I like. But how much you love this season sort of depends on how much you get behind one particular character and the plotline that goes with her. And personally, I didn't love it as much as the rest of the show. Still, it's a well-written, exciting show that I would totally recommend, and I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing these characters more, whether it's in Defenders Season 2 or Jessica Jones Season 3. I'll give this season an 8.6 out of 10. So those were my thoughts on Jessica Jones Season 2. What did you think of this? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, check out this podcast about movies and TV and whatnot I do every other week with a friend of mine. It's called the Poorly Planned Podcast, and subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.